Shalom. Call law Yah Bashim Yah Shai by Shem Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles at Great Millstone that rule and teach well. Thus taught us this truth, the 100% truth. Citations to the Akim, sincerely Akim, that's teaching his truth on the highways and the byways, risking their lives each and every day on the four corners of this earth. And to the brothers and sisters tuning in for edification. Come with another lesson. This lesson will be law on usury, special E, conniving ways. And I wanted to basically start off by saying this topic I wanted to go into is because Special E has been doing this, to the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, which is the true Hebrew Israelites, you know what I'm saying? For a long time, you know what I'm saying? It's been doing this back since the ancient time, and now the modern time, you know what I'm saying? It's been, basically doing this usury on us, and it's wicked, you know? So, I want to start off with Ecclesiasticus 10 and 8. Slocky. Sirach 10 and 8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. Yeah, because of unrighteous dealing. This is a system, Special E implemented to trick our people. You know what I'm saying? And how they stole these lands specifically, basically from the Native Americans. Gad, you know what I'm saying? Stole these lands, which is Gad and Reuben. They deceived them, and they pretty much broke all the treaties, from what unrighteous dealing, they got by this got those riches by deceit, you know what I'm saying, and that's how Esau operates, you know what I'm saying. He operates like that by gaining riches by using his wicked tactics, and the kingdom is translated from one people to another, yeah, and through being conniving, like I say again, tricking our people into, things that when they do get like certain type of loans and stuff, they have to pay these high interest rates, and that's wicked, Also, having these other countries participate in a lot of different things by using them, you know what I'm saying, putting sanctions on them, you know what I'm saying, baiting them in, and then, basically have them sign different, laws and legislations, based on, mainly those, tariffs that really get them, and then they set them up by just using them where they saying that we're gonna go in and do something, but in excuse me, but in the long run, they have their hidden agenda, their motives based on what they're trying to do, and just like the Canaanites, they was doing wicked, unrighteous decrees, even though they was not under the law, the things that they was doing was against the Most High. He didn't like that, but they was doing that, So the Most High, righteously judges them, So, and that they must lose, their kingdom. They lost their kingdom, But because the Israelites were set up to rule, you know what I'm saying? We're the only ones set up to rule, And when you fast forward to today, what you get? You got a lot of unrighteous dealings, with Special E, you know what I'm saying? And what he do, what he does, you know what I'm saying? He basically oppresses our people in all certain situations and circumstances, you know. That's how he operates. Special E is, good at, doing things like that, He's good at, the usury, of how he made so much money off our people, you know what I'm saying? From ancient time until now, modern time, you know. Babylonian, aka American, Babylon, you know what I'm saying? Which is American, Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 19. And thou shalt not lend upon usury to thy brother, usury of money, usury of victuals, usury of anything that is lent upon usury. Yeah, and let's look up that word usury, because that's how Esau operates. You know what I'm saying? He lures you in. You know what I'm saying? To basically make that money off of you, and Esau know what he's doing. He know what he does. You know what I'm saying? Which that's against the Bible. It's supposed to charge interest. Off of anything, as far as loans or money, but he still does it and said he squares on the Bible, you know what I'm saying? And he said he follows the Bible, you know what I'm saying? But he doesn't. He don't follow the Bible. He don't follow the Bible at all because he doesn't care, You know. What's that at? Usually. Did I go to the wrong? Oh, here we go. Slocky. Yeah. So he doesn't follow that. Let's go here. It's Nashada. Nashada. You know what I'm saying? That's a masculine noun. It's Strong's H5392. Nashada. Interest, usury. You know what I'm saying? And this is what Esau, implements. He implements this where he loans you money, for example. Say he loans you $100, but he wants $300 back, you know what I'm saying, based on the interest rate that he gives you. So he knows what he's doing, you know what I'm saying, and that's against the Bible. You don't supposed to do that, not at all, Okay, let's read that back again. Thou shalt not lend upon usury to thy brother, usury of money, usury of victuals, usury of anything that is lent upon usury. And like I said again, the way Special E works, once again, he'll lend you, money, and once you receive that paperwork, you'll notice that you have like a principal amount on there, and then you'll know that you have an interest amount on there. And if you don't pay attention, you'll think you're just paying the principal, but shoot, by the time you pay that loan off, man, you have all that high interest accumulated, which you add the principal and interest together, man, you basically, then pay double. Like if you buy a house, man, you think you paying $200,000 for the house, but after everything, once you pay everything off on a 30-year loan, man, you bought a $500,000 home. You know what I'm saying? Just pimping, you know what I'm saying? Just making more money off you, And that's why, we say, Special E is the devil of the Bible, man. He's known for lending upon usury, That's all he does, And I know some of my people, have got these loans for Special E, you know what I'm saying? They've got these loans from Special E, and he has hit them over the head, with high interest rates, whether it was in the mortgage field or, getting a car or anything. Because a lot of times our people don't know nothing about, sometimes don't know anything about credit, because they don't teach that in the school. They're supposed to teach that in school. But what he does, they go in, they run their credit. They already know they had bad credit, so they're like, you know what I'm saying? we're gonna throw this, this high interest rate, because sometimes they might not, be able to get the car, but they'll still say, "Oh no, we'll approve you." But once they approve them, shoot, man, they had that interest rate be so high, man. And then on top of that, you got to pay the insurance. So, and this is why our people don't understand. You know what I'm saying? This is how they show their wicked ways, by dealing unrighteously. You know what I'm saying? By lending money, but you have to pay that back. You know what I'm saying? Double or triple. So usury, man, for what Esau does, he knows wrong. He knows what he's doing. Without a doubt. Let's go to Habakkuk 2:6. That thick clay. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, a taunting proverb against him, and say, "Woe to him that increased that which is not his, how long? And to him that lay himself with thick clay." Yeah, because this is what Special E is known for, you know what I'm saying? The daughter of Babylon. These devils have, taken over things that is not theirs, By what? By usury, by, taking lands, stealing people, stealing, nations' lands, you know what I'm saying? And this is what they do. They love doing this, putting you in debt, you know what I'm saying? They put these other nations in debt. And then this is what is called modern day slavery, because back in the time when our ancestors was in slavery, when they got off the boat, what was they working? They was working for free labor, you know what I'm saying? So they didn't have to do that usury, but they was doing it in that aspect. They was doing it where they was getting all the physical work out of them, they was getting the physical work from them to do the job, and then they'll feed them slop, you know what I'm saying? So it's still the same thing today. They just do it a little different. They doing it by charging you interest on top of whatever you get, and the insurance. The insurance is, and I might do a lesson on that too. The insurance is not, it's garbage, you know what I'm saying? It's nothing different than, what usury is when they charge you interest on loans and stuff like that, or whatever. Let's go to Micah 2:1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand. Yeah, you see, it's in the power of their hand. They come with this unrighteous dealings while they are lying in the bed. You know what I'm saying? This is what they do. They lie in the bed thinking about things, evil things that they could do. That's what Special E, that's his motive, And right now, you see it now, you know what I'm saying? The government, shut down. What's going on? They're dictating that, you know what I'm saying? They're plotting, to do evil. They know they have a hidden agenda behind that, and they're testing the people to see how they're going to react, you know what I'm saying? Because they're coming with this, to see him, they're prepping it, just to see how people react to certain situations, Verse 2, and they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man and his heritage. Yeah, and that's how Esau operates, you know what I'm saying? He presses a man in his house, They love doing that. That's the only other way they know, And they have done this to other nations, what? By the sword. That's what they was blessed with. The Most High blessed them with the sword. And who did, like I said again, who did they do that, in Babylon the Great? The most? The northern kingdom, Gad and Reuben. You know what I'm saying? Pretending to be, something like they was pretending to go, like they really want to help, or they wanted to be buddy with, Gad and Reuben. But in the long run, they had a hidden agenda, like they always do. You know what I'm saying? But, Esau, he's going to get it. He's going to get every little thing that he deserved. You know, going against whatever Yahweh Shemi Al-Shai say do, against the law. You know what I'm saying? Basically saying that they follow the law, but they don't, you know? And that's what these small hats did. What they do, they hijacked our heritage, you know? But they know what's going on. They fallen, they know, you know, and they also steal people's homes back, you know what I'm saying? By how they do that? Especially through the taxes and everything. What they want to do is they hope you can't pay your taxes so they can take your home back after you pay all that money into, you know, the system of buying your home, even if it's on a 15-year or 30-year loan. If you miss one payment, you'll see you miss one payment or two payments or three probably, and they're gonna take your home because you ain't paying your taxes. You know what I'm saying? You know. And that's why they don't teach our people, you know, about, you know, home loans and mortgages, you know, because they know they're trying to get over on our people, you know what I'm saying? And Esau is good at doing that usury of, and that's how he operates. Let's go to Proverbs 28:8. And he that by usury and unjust gain increase his substance, he should gather it for him that will pity the poor. Yeah. And those that pity the poor will be the Israelites. You know what I'm saying? You know, you see this in that kingdom right now. You know what I'm saying? Where we at? We at the bottom. You know what I'm saying? We don't have no riches. You know what I'm saying? You know, we're suffering in Babylon the Great. You know what I'm saying? While Special E is on top. You know what I'm saying? You know, but his time is running out. You know. So, you know, all you can do is, so I tell you, Special E, live it up. You know what I'm saying? You Edomites, live it up. You know, you self-proclaimed so-called white people, man, woman, and children. But you feeling the heat now. You know what I'm saying? You know, we know based on your system, it's illegal. You know what I'm saying? And that's all through the power of Yahweh Shemi Al-Shai. He's taking care of you. No, he's gonna take care of you. You know, yeah. For your unrighteous dealing, your pseudoscience, your witchcraft, you know, your slavery debt system that you created, you know what I'm saying? To what? To oppress our people, you know what I'm saying? Which the people is the poor people, which is the Israelites, you know? So, yeah, it's all coming to an end, you know, Esau. You're not going to be able to just, you know, keep on doing what you're doing. And that's what you have been doing. You've been doing none but wicked stuff, you know. And let me end it off on this last scripture, you know what I'm saying? Psalm 72:13. He should spare the poor and needy and should save the souls of the needy. Yeah. To save the souls of the needy, that will be the Israelites, you know what I'm saying? And who's going to save us? Yahweh Shemi Al-Shai. He's coming back for the elect and the 1/3, you know. Especially this madness, what's going on in Babylon the Great, you know what I'm saying? We've been the one that's been, you know, oppressed. We're the needy. We need to be saved, you know what I'm saying? Not these other nations, especially not Esau, you know. Esau has used our people to the fullest, making money off our people, you know. From the time we got off that boat, you know, he's making money from the high-priced slaves, which, you know, you'll consider the high-priced slaves are these people in the music industry, the acting industry, you know what I'm saying, sports, you know what I'm saying. All he's been doing is making money off our people. And then also the low-level slaves, you know what I'm saying, which we have to go to work every day and slave for them. And then what they do is if we need something, like I say again, what we have to do because we don't have all the money that we supposed to have, we have to go out and open up cards and stuff like that. Like if it's an appliance, you know, if you go into an appliance store like a Lowe's or Home Depot, you know, you can't get that $3,000 refrigerator or furniture, you know what I'm saying, Nebraska furniture. What you have to do, you have to open up a card. And then now they know they got you, because if you don't pay that loan off within the time frame of the interest, they're gonna add interest on there, you know what I'm saying? So Special E has always oppressed our people, you know what I'm saying? You know, by his evil tactics, and its evil ways. And you don't supposed to be charging interest on anything. That is wicked, you know what I'm saying? And Yahweh Shai is gonna deal with you, Esau. Yeah, I called you Esau, the self-proclaimed so-called white man. Yeah, you thinking that you gonna be able to do all this and get away with it, but you ain't getting away with nothing, you know. Yep. That's why we every day we putting up these prayers, you know, telling, you know, Yahweh Shai, we telling on you. We telling everything that you doing that's wicked. You got to go. You know what I'm saying? And you can tell the people all you want that things is going good, you know, the economy is going good. That's a bunch of bull crap. That's all y'all do is tell lies. You know what I'm saying? That's why I did a video previous before that. Psalms 58:3, you know, you come lying straight from the womb. That's how y'all are. Y'all operate like that, you know. So your time is up, devil. You know what I'm saying? For what you have done by using our people, you know what I'm saying? And one of the main things, like I say again, was this video I made for usury. You know, you have basically, you know what I'm saying, used our people through usury, and that's against the law. You know what I'm saying? You really conniving, you know, Esau. You conniving on what you have done, and you've been doing this for a long time. You know what I'm saying? Unrighteous dealings. You know what I'm saying? And let me read that last one back again. Sirach 10:8. Because of unrighteous dealing, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. Yeah. So like I say again, I'm going to end on that. You have done number of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit. And that's how you basically covered the lands, you know, by stealing the lands, you know, and you stole, you know, Babylon the Great, and you went around the whole world doing that. So now I say your time is up, Esau. It's coming to an end. So enjoy it while you can. So I want to say, call all Yahweh Shai by Shem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles at Great Millstone that rule and teach well. And to the Akims on the four corners, citations to you that's teaching this truth on the highways and the byways, which are the lies each and every day. And to the brothers and sisters tuning in for edification, come with another lesson. Shalom.